Hello, welcome to the AI Journal. This is One-on-One with Professor Usman Yusuf, a former Executive National Secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme with Arise TV Abuja on Morning Show on Tinubu's visit to France. Please do well to subscribe, follow, like, and share for more to come.
All right, let's jump into some fascinating geopolitics, shall we? We're doing a deep dive today into Nigeria's relationship with France. It's a pretty hot topic.
Yeah.
And we're going to be looking at it through this really interesting interview with Professor Usman Yusuf.
Oh, okay.
He's the former executive secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme. And this interview was on a Nigerian morning show. And he had some pretty strong opinions.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, Nigeria and France, that is a pretty intriguing combo, especially now.
Yeah, and especially because France is facing, some pushback from other countries in Africa.
Yeah, they've actually been, well, asked to leave. I mean, not in the nicest way, right?
Expelled.
Kicked out of a few.
Yeah, expelled from a few, I guess we could say.
Yeah.
So this is all happening at the same time.
Exactly. It makes you wonder what France is really after, right? I mean, they've got this long history in Africa, especially with their former colonies.
Right.
And let's be honest, it's a complicated history, right? It's not all sunshine and roses.
No, not at all.
I mean, they've been accused of holding those countries back, economically, even propping up some pretty shady regimes. So, yeah, you got to wonder what their game plan is now.
Well, the interview starts with them asking Professor Su about President Tinubu's recent trip to France.
Yeah.
It was all over the media. They were calling it a love fest, this big, blossoming friendship. But Professor Su said he was nervous.
Nervous. Huh. That's interesting. I mean, I guess you could see why. If you look back, France hasn't exactly been the best partner, historically.
Right. And he actually gives this really fascinating historical overview. He brings up how France tried to block ECOWAS.
ECOWAS.
Yeah, the Economic Community of West African States.
Oh, right. Trying to get everyone on the same page economically.
Right. They were pushing for regional integration, a single currency, that kind of thing. And France opposed it.
Really? Why would they do that?
Well, Professor Su says it's all about control. He thinks France wants to keep these countries weak and divided so they can, maintain their influence.
That makes a lot of sense, like the old divide and conquer strategy.
Exactly. And he seemed to think this new friendship with Nigeria is just another example of that. Like a way for France to get its foot in the door, exert its power.
Yeah. And what does Nigeria get out of it? That's the question.
Right. Professor Su even uses the word recolonization at one point.
Whoa. Okay, so he's not pulling any punches. Recolonization. That's a strong word. So what's he getting at?
Well, he seems to be implying that Nigeria could become dependent on France economically or maybe even militarily.
No.
And that this dependence, this reliance, could actually end up hurting Nigeria in the long run.
Like giving up their autonomy, making them vulnerable.
Exactly. And then he brings up this whole global power struggle between the West and Russia.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's the elephant in the room, isn't it?
He's worried that Nigeria could get caught in the